Thor and Runa and Nick Klein take Thor to Niflheim after his sister has been kidnapped by Corvus Glaive, who begins his search for the fabled Black Infinity Stone. Thor and Runa takes over from Donny Cates on the Thor ongoing, following up her storyline from the Thanos Death Notes, and finally getting into the big Thanos and the Black Infinity Stone vision that Thor had a few issues ago. Torrin treats the issue like a bit of a fresh start and jumping on point for new readers or returning readers, with a new adventure for Thor beginning along with the inclusion of a newer cast outside of characters like Sif. The mystery behind the Black Infinity Stone and what Corvus plans on doing with it is all doled out really well, and with stuff left for the next couple of issues, setting it all up nicely and ingraining it in Thor's history and family, involving his seldom used sister Laussa, Odin's daughter, who we didn't really get to see much of in the last couple of years outside of like War of the Realms and a couple of Angela books. Bor also gets a lot of play, being Thor's grandfather and the crux of the Infinity Stone storyline, since he might know where it is or maybe even designed this device. It's always fun when Thor's family drama seeps into the adventures he goes on to, and I like that Torrin is using hardly used parts of the family like Laussa and Bor, and not using people like Loki or his father or his mother, you know, the ones who usually cause most of the havoc. Nick Klein returns to the series with more wonderfully dark and gritty looking art, depicting Niflheim's forbidden zones as a proper hellscape filled with zombies and demon shadows. It was fun seeing aspects of these very familiar realms we've been to time and time again that we don't usually see, and I feel Nick took a little bit of inspiration from God of War Ragnarok's version of the frozen hellscape, since some of the landscape paintings he did for the hellscape looked really familiar, like they were out of God of War and stuff you'd see in those games. Thor issue 29 begins a new story arc and is a good jumping on point for new and returning readers, utilizing seldom seen characters in Thor's family, making for a compelling Odin son family centric storyline. I'm going to give this issue a 9 out of 10. Thor issue 29 heads to Little Asgard, where a little girl sneaks into the library, looking at the wondrous pictures in the myriad of books as Corvus Glaive finds her. Corvus is there for the girl, whom he knows as Laussa, daughter of Odin, Surtur and Freya. He doesn't wish to hurt her, at least not yet, and doesn't want to make her angry, quietly telling the girl that he's there to take her to her mother. The girl's curiosity wins out, and she goes with Corvus, who tells her that Gaia is meeting them soon. The girl wants to go home, dropping her toy wolf in the snowy wastelands of Niflheim they begin to travel through. On Asgard, Odin and Thor look over a map of a forbidden part of Niflheim, and Bor never explained why it was forbidden to Odin, since he wasn't very trusting. Thor sarcastically says that he doesn't know what that is like, telling Odin that his daughter is now missing and Corvus Glaive is retracing the steps of Thanos, who was in search of the Black Infinity Stone, which Bor had a hand in knowing where it is. Thor demands his father shut up as Sif returns, having found nothing in the history books. Sif suggests that they talk with someone who has actually been there, so Thor goes in search of Runa, who at the time is in Cleveland, putting a drunken biker in his place for touching her, dousing him in his whiskey shot and striking a lighter, threatening to burn him to the ground. The man runs off in fear as Runa's girlfriend Michelle knows that she feels very safe with the ex-Valkyrie. Michelle thinks that she should call in sick tomorrow and hang out with Runa as the two run from the bar, heading back to Runa's place. Their romantic moment is interrupted, however, by Thor's ravens, who say he's on the roof dealing with her sisters. Runa angrily goes to see Thor, finding him getting ready to fight through Disir, who wish to eat the All-Father. Runa tells them to stop, sending them back to the void as Thor shows her the map of Niflheim's forbidden area. Runa knows of it, telling Thor to stay away from it and to forget he ever saw it, but the All-Father tells her his sister has been taken to the place and they cannot cross the river to get to her. Runa agrees to help, accompanying Thor to Niflheim. Along the way, she tells Thor about a giant battle that was fought in the realm, and they were losing, but then Bor's sorceress designed a weapon that could win the war, and even end all of wars from then on. But it went wrong, and there was an eruption of magical forces, and while it ended the war, the sorcerers could not stop the eruption from continuing, and all they could do was contain it, and create a zone that no one would venture into, since anyone who enters it will be contaminated. Thor finds his sister's toy wolf in the ice. Learning to get to this place, they have to go through the ice, but there is nothing that will prepare him for what they will find, since he'll have to swim through darkness. Thor and Runa fall into the ice and darkness, hearing angelic voices within the void. Thor wants to investigate the voices, but Runa pulls him out of his daze, taking him further into the water and to the surface on the other side. Thor finds himself at the foot of a volcano and in an ancient battlefield. Runa knows that she never got this far, but some of her sisters did, and they were all forever changed, with some going insane, some talking to animals, and some having their souls fading from existence, meaning they too faded as well. Thor wonders if this place was sealed off, whose footprints are they now following? Thor follows the tracks into a cave, telling Runa to be aware that something in the shadows is moving. The shadows suddenly come to life, mimicking Thor and Runa's appearance and attacking them. Runa demands Thor make some lightning with his powers as the shadows close in around them, suffocating them. Thor lights the area with his lightning, killing off the shadows and giving them a way deeper into the cavern. Laussa and Corvus meanwhile make it to a magical mirror, which shows Laussa the powerful warrior woman she will become, or maybe wants to become. The injured Corvus sees himself as a god, wielding the Black Infinity Stone as a giant gate appears before them, knowing that he got them this far, and now it's up to the girl. Thor and Runa meanwhile continue into the caverns, hearing the beating of war drums ahead. Soon they come to a cavern filled with people trapped in what appears to be slow-moving fire. Runa knows that no one could survive down there as they are met by Bor, who says that the fire will cleanse the people and the ashes of men are but the shadows of life, so it all must burn.